Lord! Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Oh, Richard! Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of it. Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane jump. I'm going to.
Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to talk about the slap that was heard around the world. Chris Rock and Will Smith was just doing some stuff on stage that should not have been taking place, especially since it wasn't a black stage. Right? They was at the Oscars cutting up, y'all. And so I don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch the Grammys. I'm not a big award show person because I know that, they aren't sincere all the time. That a lot of times there's some politicking going on behind the scenes. And I don't really watch a lot of movies. I watched King Richard, which was the movie that Will Smith had like 6 nominations. Well, the movie had 6 nominations, and one of them was Will Smith for Best Actor. And so I did watch that movie, but I don't go to movie theaters. I always tell people I've always thought it was creepy to go sit in a dark room with a bunch of strangers that you don't know. And so movies have never really been my thing. I used to go a lot, of course, when I was a kid, but as I became an adult, I just found it creepy. And every now and then I will go to the movie theater, like if it's a group going to support. Like I remember when oh my Lord, Girls Trip. I think I saw Girls Trip like 5 times at the movies because all these organizations and friends were hosting showings and they were going. And so my group of friends decided they wanted to go. And then Will Piker is from St. Pete, where I live, and he also was a member of the church where I used to work at. And so then they had a showing of the movie, and so it was just various organizations that I supported who were doing showings. And then I went with my girlfriend, so I saw that movie a lot of times, and that was the last time that I have been in a movie theater. So I really don't know a lot about movies that are up for Oscars and that type of thing, but I did watch King Richard, and I thought that it was a very good movie. So in any event, I went on Twitter last night, and the first thing that popped up was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. And so I was like, well, was this a joke or something? So I played the video, and I was like, okay, well, he's laughing in the beginning, and he's actually laughing after the slap. So maybe this was like some type of publicity stunt. So I logged off, and then I came back later, and then the story had taken traction. It was trending, and I was like, dang, Will really slapped Chris Rock like at the Oscars. Like, what is going on? So I started researching for videos and whatnot, trying to, get the clear picture of what was going on. And then there was this video, I guess somebody from Australia had recorded this video, and it had like all the words, the cursing and everything that was going on. And I was like, okay, that is so bizarre, because when Chris Rock told the joke, and the joke was basically comparing Jada, who is now wearing a shaved head because she claims she has alopecia, he compared her to G.I. Jane, which was a movie, I think, with Oh my God. I can't even think of her name. I have a face in my mind clear as day. I'll post it here. Why can't I think of that white woman's name? Demi Moore. I think it was Demi Moore played G.I. Jane. And so he was just basically saying, and I mean, Jada did look like G.I. Jane, looked like Demi when she starred in the movie. So he was just basically saying G.I. Jane too. And then Will was laughing, but then all of a sudden, I guess Jada, got an attitude because people was laughing and kind of like rolled her eyes. And so that was a cue, I guess, to Will, to defend her honor. And so, he went up there on the stage and Chris was like, oh, what's going on? And then he open palm slapped the man. Like, number one, what man slaps another man with an open palm? Like, if anything, you would have went up there and punched the brother out. But then when Will turned around and was walking back to his seat, he was still laughing or smiling. So I was like, okay, is Will on the verge of a nervous breakdown? Like, what in the heck is going on here? I am so confused, but Chris Rock, he took a deep breath and, he joked about it. And then he moved into the nominations for Best Documentary. So that's my account what happened. So let's go ahead and read Variety's account with what happened. So they said Chris Rock and Will Smith had an altercation during the 2022 Oscar telecast. Okay, there was no altercation because one man hit another man and that other man did not hit him back, although he would have been, within his rights to do so. So it goes on to say Rock appeared on stage to present the Oscar for documentary feature and made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith being in G.I. Jane 2 because of her shaved head. Smith then took the stage to slap Rock. Although it appeared to be a joke at first, Smith returned to his seat and yelled at Rock, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," but he actually said the word. And then many in the Oscars audience appeared stunned at the altercation. Appeared stunned at the altercation. Diddy was the next presenter during the ceremony where he appeared to introduce the 50th anniversary celebration to The Godfather. Diddy addressed the situation by saying, "Will and Chris, we're going to solve this like family. Right now, we're moving on with love. Everybody make some noise." So Smith's publicist, Meredith O'Sullivan, came by him at the commercial break to have a discussion. Also during the break, Denzel Washington got up to speak to Smith privately. Smith revealed during his Best Actor speech that Washington said to him, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Now, when he made that comment as he was doing the acceptance speech, he made it seem like Chris Rock was the devil that was coming for him. But I don't think that's what Denzel meant when he said that to him. And I also don't think Denzel expected him to get up there on that stage and repeat what he had said. But because he didn't apologize to Chris Rock, I took it that he was trying to say that Chris Rock was the devil that was trying to come for him. Like Chris is somehow jealous of him because he won this Best Actor award. So Sullivan continued to visit Smith during each commercial break following the incident. Oscars producer Will Piker also visited Smith before the Best Actor category was announced. Smith was nominated for his performance in King Richard and won the Oscar later in the ceremony. And then I was reading another article where they were saying that they believe that the reason they didn't remove Will from the audience, make him leave, was because they knew that he was going to win that award. And so they just thought that it was best to just go ahead, let him win the award, make his acceptance speech. Hopefully he would apologize to everybody, even to Chris Rock for, humiliating him that way or embarrassing him that way and assaulting him, because this was assault. And he very well could have been arrested for that. Like, this was so crazy. But anyway, they let him go ahead and accept the speech. And now the Oscars are taking action. They're doing an investigation. And then I'll tell you guys about that story after I finish this article from Variety. And so it goes on to say Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. Smith said during his speech, he later apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees for his actions. Pinkett Smith announced last year she shaved her head after struggling with alopecia. And so I thought it was interesting that the spin was immediately like their representatives was on it, instantly to put this story out there about Jada announcing that she was suffering from this autoimmune deficiency skin disease, trying to make it seem like it's like some deadly disease that so many women, particularly black women, suffer from alopecia that I don't even know why they were trying to spin it, like she could probably, like it's a terminal disease or something. And then also, I kind of feel it is insulting for them to try to make the whole alopecia story like this big thing when it really isn't, because when you consider most women that have alopecia have suffered significant hair loss, like many women suffer with bald patches in the center of their crown. Other women have full male pattern baldness. But Jada still has hair all over her whole head. Now, she keeps the hair cut extremely low to her head, and she's beautiful and she's wearing it well, and she's out here in all these photos and videos just living her best life like she's not bothered. And when she talked about the alopecia, she showed what it didn't even look like alopecia. It actually looked like she had had surgery in her head, and that's what the scar looked like. Because if you've ever seen somebody who's had like brain surgery and that type of thing, and they have to cut them, they have that scar going across either the top of the scalp or back by the nape of the neck. They'll have that scar. That's really what Jada's look like. And so for them to try to spin this, that Will was so offended because she's suffering from this disease, I thought was a crock of crap. And it was very insulting to women who are seriously suffering from alopecia, who have had to shave their entire heads, who wear weaves and wigs, because they don't want to reveal their hair loss. And then we know that the Congresswoman, the Presley lady, she came out a couple of years ago saying that she was tired of covering up the fact that she suffered from alopecia. And so now she wears her hair completely shaved because she doesn't have enough hair to even rock a low-cut haircut like Jada has. And so I just didn't like the fact, I'm not downplaying any emotional trauma that Jada might be facing, because she fears that one day she's going to lose all her hair. But today ain't the day, because she still got a full head of hair. But I just think that it's insulting to women who are truly suffering and have experienced extensive hair loss for them to be trying to spin that the reason Will got upset was because Jada was upset. The joke upset Jada because Chris didn't say nothing about her alopecia. He just said that she was sitting there looking like G.I. Jane 2. And if you look at the picture of Demi Moore was it Demi Moore? I keep saying Demi Moore. I'm going to drop a picture in here. But when you see the pictures side by side, then you'll get the joke. The joke had nothing to do with no doggone alopecia. But anyway, I'm going to continue reading the spin that they put on this. The actor said in an Instagram post, "Now at this point, I can only laugh. Y'all know I have been struggling with alopecia. Just all of a sudden, one day, it just showed up like that. Now, this is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to hide. So I thought I'd just share it so y'all not asking any questions. Mama's gonna have to take it down to the scalp so nobody thinks she's got brain surgery or something. Me and this alopecia are going to be friends, period." Okay, so why would you be offended by the G.I. Jane joke if you've already accepted that you have alopecia, that you're losing your hair, but you're going to deal with it? And like I said, just out there being as beautiful as she always has been, as energetic as she has always been. That's not to say that behind closed doors she isn't crying about losing her hair. But when has Jada ever really been into hair, the long weaves and stuff, other than playing in music? She's always had a low haircut. She's always rocked the low hair, and she's been, rocking this new shave look quite well to me. So anyway, Rock ended up awarding the documentary Oscar to Questlove for Summer of Soul. Asked in the Oscars press room about Smith smiking Rock, Questlove said, "I'm not talking about that. This is about the Harlem Cultural Festival." Variety has reached out to ABC for further comment on the Smith Rock incident. So as you guys can imagine, everybody is talking about this. Sean Combs addresses that wild Will Smith and Chris Rock moment at the Oscars. Will and Chris were going to solve this like family at the gold party. Let's see. Somebody named David Mike said none of that was bleeped in Australia. That's what I said too, David. Will Smith said, keep your wife's name out of your effing mouth. Uncensored Will Smith footage as shown on Australian TV. And let's see, Joel Kim Booster, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is straight people's Adele Dazeem. Stephen A. Smith said, please tell me I didn't see what I just saw. Somebody please tell me that Will Smith was joking and it was part of the show when he just smacked Chris Rock on national television. I'm begging y'all, please don't tell me Will Smith would do something like that. And then Philip DeFranco said, did Will Smith really just open hand smack Chris Rock on live TV and tell him to keep Jada's name out of his effing mouth? And then Chris Rock just kept it going. Holy crap. So, child, my thoughts on the situation. Will Smith was totally out of line. I don't care what nobody say. And, of course, we got all the little black feminists running around talking about they applaud Will Smith because black men need to start standing up and protecting black women, and they need to protect their wives and stand up for your wives. And, you know, Will recognized that Chris was out of line and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but Will was laughing at the joke. Like, did they miss the part where Will was laughing at the joke and then he cut his eye over there at Jada and Jada was rolling her eyes? Now, was she rolling her eyes at Chris for the joke or was she rolling her eyes at Will for laughing at the joke? But for whatever reason, he decided to get up and totally embarrass himself. So Chris Rock, said that he's not going to press charges against Will Smith and that, he's really going to call it a day. He probably called Will after the show and cussed him the hell out. Like, don't you ever, ever, ever do that again. And then he probably told Will to make a donation or something to his favorite charity. So about an hour ago, the Oscars, or the Academy Awards, I guess that's what they call themselves, announced that they are opening an investigation into what took place. Now let's see here. I tell you guys, I have horrible internet coverage in my room, so I think I'm going to have to go back into the other part of the house to get the internet back up. Hold on a second. Okay, so USA Today is reporting that Chris Rock declined to file a police report Sunday after Will Smith slapped him on stage at the Academy Awards. Los Angeles police appeared to confirm. But now the Academy says it will investigate on its own, releasing a statement Monday afternoon. The Academy condemns the actions of Mr. Smith at last night's show. We have officially started a formal review around the incident and will explore further action and consequences in accordance with bylaws, standards of conduct, and California law. And so this goes one step further than what the Academy said just after Sunday night's show, which was basically that it didn't condone violence. And so then they go in talking about, what happened, the G.I. Jane joke, and how Will reacted. And then the Los Angeles Police Department said in a statement that it was aware of the incident between two individuals during the Academy Awards program. The incident involved one individual slapping another. The LAPD said the individual involved has declined to file a police report. If the involved parties desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete the investigative report. And I believe they said that Chris Rock has up to 2 years, I believe, to to go ahead and file a report. And then they also went on to list what, possible sanctions Will Smith could face, aside from assault charges, which I believe would be like a misdemeanor at this point. It says that the immediate question online is, was it a crime? And statutorily, it's clear it was assault and battery. There was actual physical contact, and that's a misdemeanor, says Solomon, chief legal analyst for Esquire Digital in Philadelphia, which helps lawyers grow their practices. Generally, both are punishable by a fine of $2,000 and up to 6 months in county jail. Alleged misdemeanors in LA are handled by the Los Angeles Attorney's Office, but if Rock doesn't press charges, prosecution may be unlikely. And then they go on, I thought in this article they talked about what the possible punishments were going to be. Four-time Oscars host Whoopi Goldberg, a member of the Academy's Board of Governors, who won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 1991 for Ghost, also predicted Monday that Smith would not be stripped of his award, because there were people, saying, oh, they need to take the award back. But no, they're not going to take any award back. So we're not going to take that Oscar from him, Goldberg said on The View. There will be consequences, I'm sure, but I don't think that's what they're going to do, particularly because Chris said, listen, I'm not pressing any charges. So far, the Academy has not rescinded director Roman Polanski's 2003 Oscar for The Pianist, and you guys know he was called up in some rape charges. And so, let's see, it says in a statement Monday, the Academy cited its bylaws for a variety of sanctions less severe than suspension or expulsion, including private or public reprimand, temporary or permanent loss of privileges, or revocation of Academy Awards of honors. The relevant inappropriate conduct in the Academy bylaws that might apply to the slap includes physical contact and is uninvited and in the situation inappropriate and unwelcome. Also, intimidation, stalking, abusive or threatening behavior, or bullying. Even if Rock declines to file criminal complaint, he could file a civil suit against Smith, and he has up to 2 years to do so if he later finds he has suffered either a physical injury or reputational injury, or both. If Rock decides to press criminal charges, prosecutors would then have to decide whether to pursue what's called a wobbler, an offense that toggles between misdemeanor and a felony. And basically it just comes down to it will be a misdemeanor, but we don't expect it to go that far. And then someone named Rachel Fysett, who's a former lawyer for the Academy and a former city attorney, now a criminal defense lawyer in Los Angeles, said, and she used to work for the Oscars, and she says that the Oscar show is so warm and so friendly and so fun, and everyone is so excited. So this was really out of the norm. Nevertheless, it happened. A crime, a misdemeanor, and it should absolutely be charged if the city attorney wanted to pursue it. But I have a hunch they won't without Chris Rock's cooperation. And why wasn't Smith removed from his seat after the slap? It was possible to do so, Fysett said, but the lawyers are scattered throughout the audience and probably didn't have time to come together to decide if he needed to be removed. And she says that she was impressed with Rock's low-key reaction. I think we all were impressed with his low-key reaction. And so they basically just go on. And one thing they state in this article is something that I said on Twitter last night, is that this was so disappointing because the movie was about Richard Williams and how he brought up Venus and Serena to become the best, greatest tennis players in women's tennis history. And he did it non-violently. They put up with so much abuse, so much, racial, like they didn't play in Indian Wells, California for a long time because people were yelling racial slurs at them during a tournament one night. And so they have just dealt with so much abuse, the way that the media pitted Maria Sharapova against Serena Williams. And I'll never forget that year at the U.S. Open. I can't remember what the play is, but I know the theme song was "You're So Pretty, So Pretty." You guys remember that song? And that was the theme for Maria Sharapova. And they actually had like Broadway actors create this introduction for her for when she would come into the stadium to play each night. And I just remember the night that her and Serena played each other, and my heart just ached for Serena because she had dealt with being called, a monkey and all these different derogatory terms, and that she was ugly, and people just always made fun of her hair and her size and everything. And then there they was with, Maria Sharapova, their little white princess. And then they got this song, this Broadway song, and this opening where she's going through the town and everybody's cheering for her. And that to me was just like so demoralizing, but Serena rose above it. She became, I believe Serena and Venus done retired, to be honest with you, but they might come back and play a couple of more matches, but it feels like they have retired and they don't want any fanfare, but we'll have to wait and see. But, Serena kept rising above it. I think when Maria Sharapova retired a couple of years ago, the record was like 19-2. Serena had then dominated her. And I believe that was that U.S. Open was motivation to her to slaughter that girl every time she was on the court. And Serena, is tied with Margaret Court for 23 Grand Slams, the most of any woman in history in the Open era. And so anyway, I just thought that it dishonored the movie, for Will Smith to do that. It dishonored the movie. It dishonored the Williams family. Venus, the family was there. Richard wasn't there because he suffered multiple strokes and he isn't doing well health-wise. But Venus and Serena and the sisters was there, and the mom might have been there. And I just thought that they were just hurt. You could just tell by their faces. Venus was stunned. Serena was trying to like smile it off and be like, but they were confused. They had no clue what was going on. And I just feel like that Will's actions destroyed that moment for them. And so Twitter is still ablaze. They're still going on and on and on, about this. Some people are team Will, some people are team Chris Rock. It seems like for the most part, racists are team Chris Rock, like they're trying to turn it into more, than it needs to be. But, just a very sad thing. Definitely, and people were saying, and rightfully so, it's obvious that Will Smith is under a lot of trauma. He's under a lot of emotional distress, still stemming from the whole August Alsina, Jada bringing him on the red top, or bringing herself to the red topic and red table, and making him sit there, as she talks about her indiscretions in their marriage. Will was looking like he was about to cry, and it was just really, really sad to see that. And I actually did a video, and I'll put that video link up above, and it just obviously he is still dealing with that. And so people were saying, you're going to slap Chris Rock for telling a joke, but you let August Alsina slide. Like, that's who you should have slapped, because he was the one sleeping with your wife, And so I just, I pray for Will Smith. Denzel Washington, he got up and talked to him. Tyler Perry got up and talked to him. I believe Diddy got up and talked to him. So they was like, trying to calm him down. I didn't see anybody talking. Well, I think Denzel did go up and say something to Chris Rock, but while Chris Rock was still on stage. But we're hearing about Will. We're hearing about Jada. We're hearing about the alopecia. But has anybody checked on Chris Rock? Has anybody seen if Chris Rock is okay? And so, guys, I could just talk about this all night. Like, Chris was so wrong. Not Chris. Will was so wrong. But we need to pray for Will, that whatever is weighing him down, that he can release it. I honestly think that Will Smith needs to divorce Jada Pinkett. Like, she embarrassed him with the August Alsina thing. She embarrassed him when she wrote that love letter to Tupac last year on Tupac's birthday. You know, she's just so rude and disrespectful to this man, and how she had him up there on that table talk. He needs to free himself from that marriage. And I know they say that they're never going to get a divorce, but I think at this point, it's okay to change your mind, to free yourself up mentally, because at this point, he is just being emasculated before our eyes, and it doesn't make sense. And then just thankful that Chris Rock was the bigger and better person, because if you zoom in on the video, Chris had his fist balled up, but something said, don't do it, just let him walk away. And, you know, thank God he was the bigger person. But at this point, Will Smith owes Chris Rock an apology, and he owes him a public apology, because if you harm somebody in public, you apologize in public. And for him to get up there and apologize to the Academy and the other nominees and not apologize to Chris Rock just further showed, you know, how detached he is and self-absorbed he is. And so, guys, that's it for me. Go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.